Okay, so I can't even see the screen right now. There's so much glare. Excuse me. Anyway, I just wanted to share my appreciation for being on disability. I think a lot of people presume that I'm completely just irrational about things, and I understand that it's a privilege to be on disability and getting the allotment and my insurance being able to cover access to different gyms. So, and without that, I wouldn't have been able to afford my own insurance at this time, going through the mental breaks that I'm going through. And because I did notice that some insurances are starting to carry access, I overheard someone in one of the areas at one of the gyms saying how happy she was for having Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and that allowed her to get into one of the gyms for free. And so insurance being able to cover fitness, which is a huge benefit for overall health and well-being, that's been like a godsend for me. And I've been able to lose that 150 pounds, although I'm not gonna lie, I'm very chunky right now. I've been eating a lot. I haven't been working out a lot right now, and gaining weight all crazy. And I swear a lot of it's in my boobs, which is nice. Who doesn't like to have a nice figure? But not to the point where I want to be attractive to everyone. That's where you get all the creeps from all ends of the spectrum. Walking in and out of gyms, sometimes I have to worry because what do they see? What do they notice? And a lot of times dudes will do random stuff just to get my attention. And they do, I'm not gonna lie. They get my attention, but not in the way that I'm sure that they realize, where I'm just sort of like recognize them as a human being and not an object and not like a sex symbol. So I think that, people don't rationalize how grateful I truly am. I'm actually I have a lot of gratitude. I have varying amounts of anger towards the entire situation, everything that's gone on, but I'm actually very appreciative that I get access to things that I might not have otherwise have had I not been classified as disabled, due to all of these things. And I do believe that some form of undiagnosed autism, who knows, I was very strange and still am very strange. And I feel like it's been a wonderful day today. I was in the midst of just traveling right now, and I'm hopeful that I don't have like anything in the background. Not really. There's a family dollar sign in the background, I think. I don't know. Some kind of sign. Who cares? It doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm not anybody that's fancy and doing anything crazy. But I'm just saying, like, the allotment that I've gotten through disability has really helped me to focus on my mental health. And I wish that there was a larger amount, because I cannot sustain myself. But I am grateful for what I do get, which isn't much, honestly. And I just went, did my own thing for a little bit in between traveling, and I just enjoy having my me time because I've been so stressed out by humanity my whole life and not being able to be myself, that I had to hide behind all of these different, masks that I had, because I was fearful that people wouldn't accept me in my rawness, my raw form, But I really don't care if anybody accepts me in that way. I just care that they are accepting themselves, like being accepting of their own being. And whether or not I upset them, it might have been just their mood on that day, I try really hard just to exist without hurting anything else around me, and not forcing my reality on anybody else. So even that guy that said, yeah, using the word rationalize a lot in my videos, because I'm talking to myself. Was I talking to you? No. Do you understand the definition of the word? No, I guess not. So I think like a lot of these things, they just pull me out of my dimension, which is just a state of peace majority of the time. I wish I didn't have so many electronics around me at all times, though. That's upsetting for me. And I can tell too the differences, like when I'm away from everything, how I feel, and taking a break from all of that is nice, and getting down to earth is nice, and that's why I enjoy going for these walks in the parks and things. I chronicle it now because I want people to realize what I enjoy, what I do in my spare time, or what I choose to do when I'm not being stressed out or forced to do anything that I don't want to do. And right now I don't have very many finances, and I'm not like going around panhandling or seeking assistance that other people might use, resources that might be suited with someone else. And that's why I just don't seek beyond my means. And I know that that's some type of disorder, and whatever they classify it as, but me, it's just trying to be tranquil after all of the trauma and the abuse that I've sustained. And everybody negates the fact that I was actually abused. They stick up for the fact that they're in the right and that they know everything, and there's no way I could have traumatized you. You don't know. You don't know from that person's perspective. You don't realize, you don't rationalize how detrimental sexual abuse is. Men don't understand it. They would love if a woman was like, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But I've met men who ended up really messed up later on in life because they were abused by a caretaker, someone that they trusted, or like an older man or an older woman, and they were forced into that mentality because there was something wrong with the other individual. And I tell them, I'm like very glad you opened up, because that shows me a part of you that I might not have otherwise known. And I'm grateful to you for expressing that, because I realize you've gone through things as well as an individual, and that also adjusts your temperament for the rest of your life. We can't negate the fact that these are traumas, and that is post-traumatic stress when we have relationships later on that don't last because of these sexual assaults that happened to us as children when we were innocent and we weren't able to defend ourselves. So that is where the truth lies. And I was saying that to people all the time. It lies in the fact that other people lie. The truth is the truth regardless, from all perspectives, from a third party view. That's why when you get juries involved, you get the concept of, oh, they've lived the life we've lived, and you get that empathy. Whereas in the court system, those people in those authoritative positions, they were handed a lot of the things in their lives. They were not necessarily handed, but maybe they had a better upbringing. Maybe they were able to work around the system better and were able to finance themselves through things better because they had some form of support somewhere along the way, even if it was at the very least emotional support. And a lot of us that ended up through the trauma and everything couldn't get past it. I just never got that emotional support. Animals were the only thing that I had to fall back on. And then I had my daughter, and I didn't treat her like an animal. I treated her like her own being. And that's what hurt the most when she was ripped away from me, because everyone else made it seem as though I was coddling her too much, or hovering too much over her. And that's just my reality. Like, I loved her so much that I put more effort into her than I did myself, and that's why I'm back around to, I'm very grateful today. I'm just very happy and grateful. I've ate things that I might not have otherwise had I not been forced into this circumstance. I get to travel here and there, and regardless of where the money comes from, I know God will bless me in certain ways, and blessings can also be curses and vice versa. And I feel like there's always a hidden positive in everything, and so I am very grateful. I was able to stop by a new gym today and sign up, and I really like the facility. I wish I could leave reviews at the places that I go everywhere I go, but I get neglectful, I get forgetful because everybody's pulling me this way and that way, and I can't just focus on my reality, which is seeking my own happiness and seeking my own comfort in this day and age after sustaining all the traumas that I've sustained, because I don't want to move forward. I still don't. You know, you stole a child from me. You can't replace that. And you can't replace the time that I was forced to be away from my child. You just can't replace that. There's no monetary value, no price tag on emotional support like that. So that's why I tell people, like, who would I sue? How much would I get? Because it makes no sense to me. Financial what? You destroyed me emotionally and psychologically due to all these things. And that's where I sit. And people don't rationalize. There you go with the word. Now I've got to catch myself every time. People don't realize that within going to school, you have to have a financial support system behind you. I have nothing. What am I going to do? Set up more loans that I have to pay back later on? No, thank you. I'm not going to work for something that is not going to inevitably bring me happiness. Like, I've noticed a lot of these people with money that are very disrespectful toward everyone else, and they're not happy within themselves, and that's why they ignore everything around them. They're so consumed and narcissistic within their own realm, they can't even pick up the scraps of paper they drop on the floor, or the wrapper here and there, or, you know, pick up the spilled drink that they just spilt everywhere. And it's ridiculous. You know, you get too entitled and then you forget where you came from or where your ancestors came from and how hard they worked for you to be at that state of comfort. And that's why, like, I didn't have that. So of course I'm always there picking up my dishes and setting them for people, or cleaning up after myself and cleaning up after others where I can. And I try not to harp about it. Like, I never said anything before. Now that I've publicized it for everyone to see, now you care. Now you wanna bash me in some way or this way or that way and try to slander my name. But you can't, because I'm never gonna change from who I am, which is just a nice person. It always reverts back to Leticia just being, you know, she was being overly emotional, overly open-hearted, you know, open-minded. And people take advantage of people like that all the time. People take advantage of people like me all the time. And that's the sad part, because you were stating that you were going to do the right thing. That is gaslighting. You should get in trouble in some form for that, because that's not me slandering when I have to repeat what you've done to me or anything like that. That's ridiculous. Anyway, I'm getting off the topic, and now I'm all stressed out. My heart's racing because I'm like, oh, I don't want to get out of that state of comfort. So yeah, and then I got some vegan, like some horchata. Oh my god, it's fucking delicious. Let me tell you, it is so good. Look at it. Nice. Some dude sent me in one of my emails or whatever on Facebook, my little messenger. I look at the messages and I laugh at them and stuff, because I'm like, I'm not going to feed into your drama. No, thank you. And somebody had like cropped my face. Put it on a bunch of like weird like fitness people or something. So funny. And it was like posting it something about like I can't help it. It's so funny. It's too silly. Like, people are funny. I hope that they're having fun with it in these videos, because I really, you know, I could care less if anybody's trying to slander me. You can't. Like, I'm a good person, and like, even if I've met you face to face, I would be like, I'm sorry you had to do that to me. I don't know what I did. Like, I don't know why you hate me so much. My honesty, from my perspective, it hurts you, and that's sad. I'm sorry. Like, oh my god, I was sitting there after I ate my tacos in the as it was in this like little like shopping district thing, shopping district, so that it was like a little parking area. And I was sitting there, and this older woman came up. She was adorable, and she was like, I don't know, not oriental, but Chinese like looking, I don't know, Korean, something, some type of Asian. And she was very petite, so I barely saw her. And she had her cane and stuff, she opened my back door, because sometimes when I'm sitting in my car, like the car doesn't automatically lock all doors, which is frightening for me. I don't like that. So I have to constantly remember to just lock my doors as I'm chilling. And anyway, oh my God, she opens the back door and I screamed really loud because I couldn't really see her frame. She was so petite, you know, and she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I screamed really loud, but I was in a state of shock and fear still because I was going through my phone at that time looking to, you know, directions on where I was going to go next. So she opened the back door. I swear to God, I should get some of this shit on film. I just screamed. I didn't laugh at that time, but by the time she had gotten around to the car that she was going to, which it was her and her friend, and they were just there at the restaurants also. She told me about one of the nice ones too. I don't know if it was Vietnamese or if it, no, I think she said it was like Chinese on the end of the Chinese food or something. And I was like, yeah, bet, like next time I'm in town, don't you worry. But anyway, I didn't say that to her. What I said to her was, I said, you know, someone else did that to me a couple weeks ago. I was traveling in another area and this older man had whipped open the same back door because he was getting into like his daughter's vehicle or whatever. He was older gentleman. He had a newspaper. He was busy reading the newspaper. It was in a gas station parking lot, so it was safe. It was in the middle of the day. And he opens, you know, like I wasn't fearful at all. And I just started cracking up in his face. I was like laughing. He was like, I'm so sorry. So I rolled my window down and had a conversation with the, it was a younger female driving. And she was like, I'm so sorry. I can't even take him anywhere. And he was apologetic. And he was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So embarrassed. And same with this woman. When by the time she had gotten around, I started cackling. I couldn't help it. I was laughing so hard because by the time the fear was over, I knew there was no danger. She was fine and like we were fine, but she was having a heart attack still and she was so embarrassed. And I was like, no, it happened to me 2 weeks ago. It's kind of my fault for not locking the doors, you know? And so she was like, you know, but either way, they would have still tried to approach the door. I'm so sorry. That's how I burst out laughing. It happened for like, I laughed for like 10 minutes straight. I just couldn't even. And she was so apologetic. She stood there and she talked to me for like 5 minutes. I told her, I said, no worries, like, it's not a big deal, like, but you did scare me, so I'm sorry. I screamed in your face, and it was just so funny. By the time the fear was over, I mean, it's in the middle of the day. There's a huge difference, you know. If it were nighttime, I'd be like, what the fuck? Get the fuck away from my car. No, but, you know, it was so much fun. It's nice meeting new people in that way. And the one lady driving, she said something about, oh, you can't, I guess, you can't, something about not being able to not trust the area, but she said, well, you know, I guess that happens a lot, because I said it happens to me two weeks ago. I said, no, this was in a completely different state, and so she was like apologetic for the circumstances. I thought it was hilarious. Anyway, there's 20 minutes of me ranting. I gotta go to the gas station, and then head out. I think that it's a gas station right there, actually. So anyway, everyone have a blessed day. It is April 6th, 2022. Leticia Collins Servin. I'm just in a really good mood. I've had some good interactions and some nice people. I really enjoy traveling because, you know, I like getting to know new people, but I also am very fearful, so I don't like disclose everything, but I wish I could be more honest with people and they would be more accepting of me, but I'm a weird girl, so weird in a good way, I guess. Unusual. What is that? Eccentric. Anyway, have a blessed day, everyone. Bye-bye.